Good morning everybody. Welcome to the breakfast show, Trading Idea with SMARTRobie. As the last Saturday, we had our special Zoom event. I hope many of you were able to turn up and we actually discussed about Sun Tzu versus Warren Buffett from a longer term perspective of investing, and I hope you got lots of nugget of knowledge that you could use going forward. And today, let's look at what we have for you in our morning breakfast show. And for those of you who came and supported the show, which is on the last Saturday Zoom, absolutely free. Thank you for coming. But do check out our wealth building workshop, which we are promoting right now for November 15 and 16. And for a ticket to that 2-day weeknight workshop, that also gets you a 3-month subscription to our new Trade VSA investor dashboard as well as the trader dashboard. A lot of things to see, a lot of things for you to do research for a better financial goal going forward. So let's look at what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show. And of course, this today is the beginner section. Usually we get a lot more people in here. And thank you for sharing this video in your timeline too. And of course, we'll be looking at the Pentagon Guider in here, some of the trade ideas as well as reviewing last week. But let's take a look at what we have on our morning headlines. Okay, so of course, all been said, a lot is focused on the 5G rollout, which the government is looking. Of course, usually when you do have 5G, people saying some certain quarter of people will benefit. But let's look at the overall 5G network rollout or fiber network rollout in here in small corporate and public services, especially in the urban area. I think where most of you are listening up, that shouldn't be a problem. Now, how many of you are living outside of Klang Valley? If you do, just type it in there, so it's good to know what kind of infrastructure you're in. But this news talks about the fiber rollout that they're doing, digitizing Maxi Celcom DG, which means more people can access SMARTRobie easier, isn't it? Right, wherever you are, that shouldn't be so much of an issue, right, going forward. So that's what we are really looking into is, and the big beneficiary in here are Maxi, Celcom, DG, and TM. And we all know these are really household name in here. But let's take a look at some of these stock and where they are. Definitely, first one which really caught my eye is always been DG, which have a very high return on equity. You know, they've been doing well, but that stock seems to be, you know, stuck in there. The kind of prospect, not seeing the kind of prospect that we see usually in technology. Now, that's always been the case of the what we call telco, where the competition. Now, if you look here, we got Maxi, Celcom, TM, DG. That's a lot of competition in here. As such, let's take a look at the charts. It is still around green Pentagon 440, just hovering between 440, 420, the kind of move. And also, let's take a look at the Axiata. Okay, and okay, let's look at Axiata, which is the parent company of Celcom. All right, and there was some news about a merging too, okay, between Axiata and one of the telco player, which I can't remember off my head. Was that DG? Okay, and you can see again, this kind of stock seems to be moving. So will this news really bring more upside to the telco industry? What do you think? Let me know and type it in there. Let's move on to our next news. All right, now our next news will be focusing on PIE, which is many of the favorite tech stocks that many of you, which is on electric vehicle, PCB, robotics, appliances, which will really drive growth. I think many of our members may have this stock called PIE, which is actually part of the Foxconn, which part iPhone manufacturer Foxconn do own a small percentage of it. Let me just take a look at it. Let's type PIE and we type it in there. And we can check out the shareholders. So we just go down to stock fundamentals and Penn Global public small cap stock, unless Penn Global Holding is one of the big Foxconn in here. But this stock does tell you it's PE of 19 times with a FA rating of 1, ROE of 14% with a dividend of 1.36. So that's some of telling you this stock is reasonable, not too expensive, right, with a P of 19. But of course the ROE can do a little bit better in here. And so far the PIE industry is hoping to reach a revenue of 1.3 billion for the financial year 2022. Electric vehicle, household, some component of electric vehicle in there. Let's check out the stock price. So we click on here, stock comment and stock chart, and you can see this one is still hovering around this price here, and which is around 3 ringgit 60 cents. So ringgit 60 cents. Let's see if there's a chance for this market to really break up and go higher from here. Okay, now let's move on to the next story that we have for you. It's no other than Xinhua, which is a logistic and fulfillment maker in here. Now, all being said, the COVID-19, many of you may aware, already has driven a lot of logistic where Lazada, Shopee has done pretty well. So Xinhua is trying to capitalize on the warehouse space and recovery in the logistics sector. We have seen also logistics sector has moved up a fair bit in here. So this story talks about the e-fulfillment center that they secured the lease of 100,000 for new warehouse in Klang. And this is something I always talk about, the Axis REITs, which is the only warehouse and commercial REITs that many of the members should look into it. But the story also talks about the continued challenge that they have in COVID-19. So let's take a look at Xinhua, switching to a wider chart here. So we hit this, and so you can see stock chart for Xinhua, and you know, it's really been beaten down, building up a nice base here, just right in here. I think that's a very good support, around 35 cents. You're not definitely overpaying it. Now the decline, the revenue to 97 million for the financial year March 2021 from 117 during the pandemic. It's really a steady decline, but they are still holding their profit margin at 36.1 and 37. Like many other industry, they were also hit by pandemic. Now, will these stocks eventually go up? They have to have some sort of good news, you know, for it. Of course, good news will not come to you so easy. Usually the stock price move up, then only you see good news. Do you agree to that, right? And that's usually the case that we see, because after that there is a story. We'll talk about something about the smart money. Okay, let's move on to the next story that we have. Now, next story is on what we call technical engineering. Destiny used to be in the so-called aviation maintenance contract. So they are in together with Siemens Mobility to do some sort of a maintenance, repair and overhaul MRO services for electrical in here. So they are going to the railway and talking to Kereta Api Tanah Melayu in here. So with Siemens on board, they are looking for some sort of new revenue stream here. Now let's take a look at Destiny, switching to a wider chart here. Destiny, hit Destiny here, and so let's look at stock chart, stock comment here. So you can see stock chart comment, it did make a new high, hitting the new high, which is around the still less than 30 cents only, about maybe 28 cents here, short of 30 cents, but went back down to 24-25 cents in here. So the green pentagon certainly enable a lot of people to take profit, and you have an upthrust. Usually we get upthrust, a lot of weaknesses will tend to flow back down, which we did see in the past here. So take note, and this market right now is looking to move sideways. Okay, so let's look at the next story that we have for you. It's on the smart money, which I talk about in here. Now this was covered very well on Pankaj by Pankaj Kumar. I think many of you who are a member of the VSA would have known about this. A lot of the Chinese company who comes into Malaysia. Now this is fairly interesting because last week the SC reprimanded China Automotive Parts for the current and former director for various breaches of security law, but all being said, the milk already spoiled, no point. And if you look back, that was 2017, now is 2021, which is 4 years later. Is the regulator doing its job to protect many of the investor? you decide. But having said that, I think we as the public or small investor, we need to understand price and volume spread analysis. In this case, smart money win and average investor really loses in this stock. As you can see from the chart, as soon as it got listed, I assume it listed on January 13, the share price continued to fall and fall and fall. But at the same time, net asset per share continued to go up, where they have reported a lot of what we call cash balances. And we all know Chinese companies tend to be very challenging in terms of understanding the financial statement in here. But I think for most people, it's best just to look at stock. You can see from here the red line. As trend goes down, why bother buying? So if the chart and the financial statement do not agree, stay away from it. Only until where you see agreement then you buy. So hopefully investors as well from CAP can learn a lesson from China automotive parts. Are they still listed? Let me just check it out in here. Let me type this up. KAP CAP. And let's look at stock price and stock chart here. Yeah, it's almost gone to nothing traded anymore, and it's goodness, it's 1 cent only. So this one, and also Malaysia don't have a law especially in Nasdaq. If your stock go below 10 cents for the whole year, you get automatically delisting. I think that's also a very good thing too. So if nothing been done to prop up the share in terms of giving some economic status, driving it up, I think that share should be delisted. Something like CAP, which I think will be delisting very soon. So okay, so something to share, and hope you learned something this morning in here. So right now we'll turn our attention to the US side, and US is a reminder of the 1929 stock market crash, which is almost already 100 years. If you look at the headline, Wall Street in panic as stock crashes, that was on the October 24th 1929, right? It's and we are in 25th, so we are almost at this, if you do your maths, that's almost 80 plus years when the stock market crashed, and since then the market continued to roar up. Let's take a look at what we have this morning in terms of the US market heading higher, but at the same time we must always remember the frailty of the market, where it will go up, it will come down. So always learn the history. All right, the history tend to repeat itself. Market can go up, market can come down, but the question is how you react to it is more important. Now let's look at the wider chart in here. So let's take a look at the stock market this last week. Now if you look back last week, the 22nd, the market continued to make new high. No doubt you see on the right hand side of the chart, you have right now is a double top. We have a red pentagon that's nicely turned back green in here, and I forgot to mention today, the KLCI also turn red pentagon. Okay, so take note. All right, so when you turn red pentagon, this is a time you don't want to be too aggressive. You want to ease off the accelerator and start taking profit. All right, start taking profit, and that's what I tell you. You can see red pentagon in here. The last one we had the red pentagon, the market went down. Red pentagon, will this go down in here? And let's take a look at this morning. The market is up 2 points, holding up at 1590. Will we see a sideways movement from here? We will have to look at the coming days for this week in here and to see a little bit from the US market. But of course, we will take a look at Singapore. That should give us some sort of idea whether Singapore has turned or Malaysia has turned. But a reminder of the market, as I said before, October month, as I said many times before, tend to be the more bearish month because of the history that were in the making, the Wall Street crashes. All right, let's move on to our next story, which is the earnings season. Okay, now earnings season has started to come in right now. So a reminder of what's going to be happening in here. Apple, Amazon, Comcast, Chevron, and Boeing are the stock to watch, but our favorite will still be on Apple. So switching to S&P 500 here, and then hitting the Robie chart. And then you will see from last week, we have Amazon, Google. Amazon was a big decliner, Google, Let's see, is Apple in here? Tesla continued to break into the 900 after clocking in a very better earnings for the season. All right, remember the very famous Cathie Woods of the art founder saying 2025 Tesla will go to 3,500 US dollar. Now, many of you may want to hold to 3,500, isn't it? Usually, is that the level? Because now it's only 900 in there. But take note, Cathie Wood did take some profit too. Remember, many times these people, just like what has happened to Cap, they are a gentle reminder that they do not act in your favor, right? When they tell you they are selling, they could be buying. When they tell you they are buying, they could be actually selling. Chart is always the best. Learn to read the chart, all right? And which has always been talking. So the wealth building seminar that we're doing on November 16 and 15, something you might want to consider where we incorporate wealth building with chart reading and the sector that you want to be going to. Okay. Now also, let's move on to the Singapore side, and as I said before, let's take a look at the Singapore market right now. Switching to SGX and hitting the UOB chart here. So SDI market this morning. So the SDI market this morning hasn't turned red pentagon yet, but it is also hitting the double top. So we are seeing resistance in here, but it will definitely take a cue from the US side. If US can break higher to Dow Jones above 36,000, and of course, let's look at S&P 500 previously, where we were hitting in here, which is the 4,000, yeah, it broke through the 4,500 finally, yeah, and the 4,600 is coming up. We'll still have a little bit more upside, in my opinion, to go up. So the stocks in focus for the SGX market this morning in here is SAT. As we've seen, many of the market which is reopening. So after reopening, market has moved up and switching back to the SGX market in here, Robie chat. And this is where we want to put SAT, S58 here, and stock chart, right? You will definitely see red pentagon already exhibited in here after the market jumped up in here. So this is where we need to be very, very careful. Okay, you can see red pentagon, market is down. Will this go through a profit taking? We will see in the coming days. All right, let's move on to our next story, which is on the more stock trade idea that we done in. And take note, the recent run in Pentagon, we do have some winners in here. And right now, we're going to be showing you, of course, don't forget to check out the KLCI SMARTRobie guide here. If you're not done so, just click on top here. You could see this top here. Right, and just click on this one. This will take you to the PDF, which is on top of you here, the guide that you will need to see. And these are all very, very nicely done. And let's move on to the stock that we were talking about. And here is MBank. Now, last week we talked about MBank, but I want to show you, if you go to Pentagon Guider, all right, Pentagon Guider in here, and right at the bottom, okay, Pentagon Guider. Click on the Pentagon Guider here and switching to a wider chart, and you could definitely see the latest Pentagon leader, which came out on our list. Definitely on top of them are the oil and gas sector, which actually moved up. You can see Dialog was up 22% on 28th of September. All right, almost a month. 29th of September, they all move in 10. In natural, 15% return, and you just need to go back and look at the Pentagon, which actually came out on the SMARTRobie. Amanda, you can see all these were very, very big player on the oil and gas, and you can use this to scroll up. Of course, you can also push this up a bit, and you can drag this and you can see more of the stocks that you have here. So you can see from here, Green Packet did came out, it didn't make up, and that was 11%. We don't normally win. PIE came out on the 24th of September, but which is only a -5%. So right now, the good story that we're seeing in here, will PIE hit a new high, or will it likely to come back to it? Samchem definitely performed. Ta'an, the plantation stock is up 6% in here. So definitely from the Pentagon winner that we've seen. We have more winners than losers in here, and so far this list will give you the confidence to follow your trading plan. All right, now the last week's stock we had here was M-Bank. Okay, so let's take a look at M-Bank and the charts that we have, and that was picked up on the 20th of August. Okay, M-Bank. So on M-Bank on the 20th of August, that was a stock, but immediately the next day we have a sell-off. Okay, a sell-off which pushes the stock back, but again it actually recovered. Look at the auto trend line, and that's why we recommend the trading wheel plug-in for our trade VSA. We can see this on a timely manner, and also you can switch to a weekly chart, which you don't get. That weekly chart, you could see the auto trend line is starting to move sideways, and there was already a breakout in here. So M-Bank, eventually if we look back the old high that it was, we were around $6, and take note, we are at recovery for the banking stocks. A lot of the CIMB banks have started to move up. So M-Bank, in my opinion, for longer term, this would definitely be good. So get in this plug-in and also be entitled to come for our November 15 and 16 in here. So let's look, that seemed to be good. All right, so let's go on to the next trading idea, which is for episode 130, 25th of October, will be definitely Sintex. Okay, so let's take a look at Sintex, and let me just bring this in again, and we will create a trading plan like we do every week. Okay, so this is Sintex where we are. So switching to Sintex, and Sintex today go through profit taking after 3 bar up, and hopefully because we got climatic volume in here, and usually climatic volume, that's the one that we are likely to see potential selling. All right, potential selling. So just take note of this one here. You want to really have a feel of this market, right? And who knows, we might see something rebound from here. So Sintex is going through it. So let's switch to a weekly chart, and if you look from a weekly chart, it's pretty good. So it's just a daily. Weekly chart is steady. Okay, weekly chart is steady, right? You can see here the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart, the trend is still trending up. So that's why it's important to switch to a weekly chart in here. And you can see you got a couple of tests inside here, and that is some SOS tests on weekly. Okay, turn green pentagon on, what day was this? 16th of August. Okay, 16th of August. Let's switch back to a daily chart, and daily chart turn green pentagon on 20th. Daily chart turn green pentagon on 20th of October. Okay, so also same thing, green pentagon on 20th October. And what was the price? When we turn, we could have got in on the opening price. Okay, so usually pentagon next day we will go in. So opening price is 4 ringgit 60 cent, 460. Okay, save this first. Important price level, and this is the one that we will turn to our pentagon. So we go to our KLSE, we type Sintex, and we hit that one. Oh, we need to key in correctly. Sintex, that's right. We forgot the T. So Sintex, and you can see that's a nice one here. We switch over to trading plan, and there you have it. All right, so the next EPS date is the 17th of December 2022. So we have R1, important date. R1 is at 470, and R2 is at 487. Right, and it is almost high already. You can see the double top. That's why it's looking at the double top in here. Weekly resistance is 470. So since then it's pulled back. Okay, let me just write weekly resistance it has pulled back. Now the last green pentagon that they had was in July, was a really good one. You could see the market make a nice move in here, but the second leg, this is the second leg here, may face difficulty. Okay, why is the market moving up? We have volume, but also climatic volume, which is a reason for pullback. Okay, low support. So let's take a look at low support. Again, we go to our low support. We just go to our exit strategy, and we'll see where is the support right now. Our support here will be at S1. All right, I think we can take the weekly support, which is ringgit 450. All right, weekly low of the support will be weekly support at 4 ringgit 50 cents. So when the market go through a little bit of 450 that we see here, let me just zoom in here, right? 450 is somewhere around here. Yeah, that's, you can see right just below that. That will be a very ideal support. High resistance, we already know from our just above here, resistance high is 487. Maybe we just put it at 490. Okay, now the last round where the market did make a big move was here. You can see from here onwards. So you drag, okay, here, and you drag it here. That was about 43 days. So 43 days usually is about 1 to 1.5 months. All right, that's the kind of time frame we will allow for it. And if the trade doesn't work, we expire it. Just like many of our trading portfolio, we continue to give us consistent result. I think many of you already achieved some sort of consistent result. It's just matter of following through and whether you want to do that or not. Do you agree or not? If you do agree, just type in 4, right? And we want to maintain consistency, just like you're consistently receiving wealth and income from the market by doing the right thing. All right, let's save this in here. And we are done for the plan for Sindex, and definitely we'll look at it when we come back next week. All right, so for the update that we have for the portfolio, trading portfolio, which we'll be updating for the entire year. Last year was a good year, 106%. This year, real money, real trading, we are still up around the 14%, maybe a slightly pullback. But take note, with the KLCI turning red pentagon, which means there is no more trading. Okay, there's no more trading, so we are really vigilant about taking profit. You could see just above me in here the red pentagon, and who knows, the market may just pull back all the way, breaking the are we above the 1660? No, we couldn't break through even the 1660. You could see the 1660 maybe touching back, and remember the ATR stop loss just above me here. It's a 1560 over level there. Okay, this is something members and the public should take note of. All right, and of course we are continuing to promoting our Trade VSA Trader Dashboard Investor stock quote risk analysis, which we will debut on the November 6th. So watch out for 2 more weeks. We are still going to the final stages of our testing in here, and great things ahead for many of our existing members. And you have a chance to get hold of our dashboard by simply joining our next workshop, which is the wealth building one. And of course, for our members, and once you sign up as a member, you stand another chance to win an iPad. That's right, an iPad. And by submitting the stock screener for all our Trade VSA on the dashboard and post it on the Trade VSA Google review, and just get a 30 ringgit Grab voucher. That will definitely be good. One every month. We have 30 so far. We have not seen any of our members submitting to it in here, and perhaps maybe they are busy or they are really making great money in there. But I'm here encouraging all our existing members in here to submit, and you stand a chance to win a monthly 30 ringgit Grab voucher, and also the iPad, which we already been giving out previously to another campaign in here. And of course, much await for our November 15 and 16 for our wealth building roadmap. And of course, the early bird prizes is still there, so make sure you settle and get everything done before 31st October, and you have the trader dashboard and many more great benefit for a very small investment for turning your portfolio around in 2022. So make sure you get that, and that's a number you can contact for that one. Okay, now we're going to turn our attention now to the very favorite section among the public and as well as our member is your stock submission. All right, stock submission in here. We got Johnny in here on OMH. Now, Johnny, as I said before, if you are you a member or you're public? If you're the public, you're a stock review. So if you are a top sharer and top fans, you get 3 stocks inside here. Of course, for our members, you get unlimited stock. And also, if you do, please let us know your profession, and do appreciate that. And Song ZZS, you can only have 1 share for being the public. But if you become our top fan, top sharer, you get 3 stock review in here. Okay, we are still looking for some members in here. Now, it's important that I get your professions if you want me to look at your stocks in here. And let me just turn this off again. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, so our YouTube channel will have all our video tutorials as well as our Facebook in here. Okay, and don't forget to share and our Telegram chat room for all information which is educational and very, very helpful in there. All right. So if I don't get to see the any more stock chart, we have Aries Pang, which is a milestone follower, and if you are from the public, do let us know your profession. As I said before, okay, Zong is in pharmacy business in here. I think you are a regular follower, maybe something you want to consider being a member, and you want me to look at Panasonic. Okay, let's take a look at Panasonic. Panasonic. Panasonic, there was a green pentagon, but there were no follow through. And also take note, the auto trend line here now is pushing downwards. So very likely there's 2 causes. The nature of the technical analysis prices are pointing downwards. You do have unfortunately, a red pentagon coming out. So very likely this stock is going to move sideways. And it's been moving sideways for a long time. If you go back to 2021. So this is something that you will benefit only from dividend play. All right, take note of it. Okay, we got Aries, which is a masterclass members. All right, no problem. Okay, we continue to support our members. Usmi, apparently this was a distribution buy. You could see that right now, right at this support in here. Very, very close. You got NS, market broke through. Usma, another oil and gas player. Apparently, the trend is still up, but we want to see whether the smart money use this pretense, which is up 15% to distribute, and you're back to the normal. A lot of smart money does that. That's one of the things I really have to be very careful when you see climatic volume on. All right, we have Dennis. Again, I already mentioned before, you need to state your profession if you want me to look at your charts. And of course, if you're a top sharer, you get 3 stock review in here. Okay, we have Aries. Okay, Aries is a fall. Aries, you need to let me know your if you are a masterclass members, let me know Aries. If not, okay. Yes, we got cool here, WCT. WCT trend is up, but red pentagon just turned up today. So do be careful, right? Take some partial profit if you want to. If you have gone in on the green pentagon somewhere around here, it didn't hit through the ATR stop loss right here. Okay, let's take this point, right? From the opening to the top, 26%. Maybe 20% is good enough. Now, remember, right? We already turned red pentagon for the KLCI. All right, Aries. All right, Aries, CTOS. Okay. CTOS, I think you all know about the secrets, right? It came off, hit the new high in here. It will congest a bit, but watch out for this ATR stop loss, right? I think there will be some sort of support. The smart money really pushing these stocks inside here, but we have to be careful to be vigilant. So right now you can see the trend line still pointing upwards. So let's hope this thing will bend back up in here. Volume continued to be low, but this bar was the 5% sell-off. So you can see the earnings came out and reported 7, so that's a good one here, but it means a lot of profit taking already on that bar. Market will continue to move sideways in here. Okay, so something you want to take note. So we got Shamshol here, which is an engineer. Okay, great. D next. D next finally turning, today only turned green pentagon. All right, after a period of accumulation, and that's what we want to look for. Okay, whether we'll see the market retest back the 83 cents. So good one here for DNEX, and you only get that when you subscribe to the real time. All right, so I hope that you all will consider the February 15 and 16, and you have a chance to test drive our plugin and as well as our trader dashboard on the 15 and 16 in here for a early bird price. Now remember, there's a number that you can call in here, and okay, to find out more too. So with that, I will end our session for today in here. Thank you very, very much, and thank you for all your support that you've given to us in here. Consider joining our wealth building workshop on the 15 and 16, and early bird is before 31st of October. And don't forget, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.